Hi everyone, I'm Eve from Susan's family. Today, I'm going to show you the flower branch lace top from Chinese Aesthetics series. This top is made up of the back body, front body, sleeves, joining together, collar, edging and decorations. The clothing comes in multiple sizes. The crocheting method is roughly the same, only the row numbers and stitch counts are different. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet technique. First, let's learn about the back body. It is divided into the main body, chest, left and right shoulder parts. Note that the left and right refer to the clothing when it's being worn. Among these, the body is divided into the hem and body piece. Use a foundation chain to start. Then work back and forth in rows. The stitches used include chains, single crochets, DC3-in-1, and DC3 tog. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet technique. Here, I'll use thick yarn for the demonstration. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the charts. Start with a foundation chain. Leave a tail, then make a slip knot. Crochet chains. The number of foundation chains varies depending on the size, so please refer to the chart. Since there are many foundation chains, remember to check the stitch count. After completing, crochet the first row of the hem. Start with one chain, as the turning chain for the single crochet. The turning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. Then go back and crochet a single crochet into the second to last stitch. Pick up the back bump. That is, the single line on the back of the chain. Continue to pick up the back bump on the left side of the chain and crochet one single crochet. For this entire row, pick up the back bumps of each chain and work single crochets evenly. After completing the row, check the stitch count. Consider the right side of the first row of single crochets as the right side of the entire back piece. This completes the first row. Move on to the second row. Crochet one chain. Turn your work. Pick up the two loops on the left side of the single crochet and start crocheting single crochets. On the wrong side, the stitch will be on the upper left. Continue to work single crochets evenly. This completes the second row. For the next 2 rows, the third and fourth rows, you will turn your work and work single crochets evenly. Here, my sample is already completed. You can see that the odd-numbered rows are crocheted on the right side. The even-numbered rows are crocheted on the wrong side. Everyone should refer to the chart and complete these 2 rows. Below, we will crochet the 5th row. Start with 3 chains. These will serve as the turning chain for the double crochet. This counts as 1 double crochet, corresponding to the single crochet on the edge below. Turn your work. Skip 1 single crochet without working into it. Work a DC3 and 1 into the third single crochet. That is, work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. The DC3 and 1 is now complete. Then skip the next 2 single crochets. Continue with the DC3 and 1. For this row, always skip 2 single crochets. Then work a DC3 and 1 into the next left single crochet. Follow this pattern down to complete the row. There will be 2 single crochets remaining at the end. Skip 1 single crochet. Work 1 double crochet into the last single crochet. The 5th round is now completed. Move on to the 6th row. Start with 3 chains. These count as the turning chain for the double crochet. Turn your work. Chain 1 as a bridge. Work a DC3 tog next. This is where you combine the previous row's DC3 and 1 into one stitch. Start with 3 unclosed double crochets first. Yarn over. Insert your hook into the left stitch. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops. This completes 1 unclosed double crochet. Move on to the second one next. Yarn over. Insert your hook into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over and pull the yarn through. Yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. This completes the second unclosed double crochet. Continue with the third one. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. This completes 1 DC3 tog. The V shape formed by 2 yarns is the stitch of the DC3 tog. Chain 2 as a transition next. Continue with another DC3 tog. First, work 3 unclosed double crochets correspondingly. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The DC3 tog is now complete. For the next row, proceed based on the previous row. Work a DC3 tog on the DC3 and 1 from the previous row. Chain 2 as a transition in between. Complete this entire row. Finish with one last DC3 tog. Chain 1 for transition. Pick up the 2 strands of the top chain from the turning chains of the previous row. Work 1 double crochet. This completes the 6th row. Now work the 7th row. Make 1 turning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 single crochet on the double crochet below. Work 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Work 1 single crochet on the DC3 tog. Work 2 single crochets in the left chain space. For the rest of this row, work 1 single crochet on each DC3 tog all the way down. Work 2 single crochets in the chain space. Finish this row. Pay attention, end with 1 single crochet in the chain space. Work 1 single crochet into the 3rd chain from the turning chain of the previous row. Row 7 is now complete. Continue with row 8. Starting from this row, work back and forth. For each row, make 1 turning chain. Then work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Keep going until you finish row 10. The method is quite simple. Everyone can complete it on their own. I've just finished the last stitch of row 10 on my sample. Stretch the loop. Pull the skein through the loop. Tighten it at the end. Carry the yarn across. Now let's work on row 11. For this row, we'll need to switch colors. Take the corresponding yarn. Start with making a slip knot. Slightly tighten the loop. Turn the work over. Insert the hook into the last single crochet of the previous row. Make one turning chain. Work one single crochet into the turning chain position. You can weave the yarn tail from switching colors as you crochet. Continue working single crochets evenly into each stitch. Everyone, please continue to finish this round. The crocheting method for row 12 is the same as for row 10. Start with making one turning chain. Turn the piece. Work single crochets evenly. This completes the hem of the back piece. Next, we move on to the body section. Turn the work over. Draw the carried yarn through on the last single crochet of the previous row. Be mindful not to pull the carried yarn too tight. Start with 3 turning chains. Skip one single crochet. Work one DC3 in 1. This row follows the same crochet technique as row 5. Weave the yarn tail as you crochet. Finish with 1 double crochet. The first row is now complete. Proceed to the second row of the body section. Start with 3 turning chains. Turn the work over. In the second double crochet of the DC3 in 1 from the previous row, work 1 double crochet. Then, work 1 chain. Work another double crochet in the same position. We treat this sequence of 1 double crochet 1 chain, and 1 double crochet as group 1. Continue with group 1. At the end, work 1 double crochet into the turning chain of the previous row. The second row is now complete. Move on to the third row. Start with 3 turning chains. Turn the piece. Work 3 double crochets into the chain space of group 1 from the previous row. For this entire row, work 3 double crochets into each chain space of group 1. Treat this group of 3 double crochets as one leaf. At the end, work 1 double crochet into the turning chain of the previous row. Don't forget to work the final double crochet. The third row is now complete. Move on to the fourth row. Start with 3 turning chains. Turn the piece. Work group 1 into the middle double crochet of the leaf from the previous row. For this entire row, work group 1 into the middle double crochet of each leaf from the previous row. At the end, work 1 double crochet into the turning chain of the previous row. Make sure to include the final double crochet. The fourth row is now complete. Continue working on the body piece. Take a look at the finished product. Consider rows 3 and 4 as one sequence. For the remaining rows of the body piece, repeat this 2-row sequence. Always start each row with 3 turning chains. End every row with 1 double crochet. The last row of the body will vary depending on the size. Refer to the chart while crocheting. Do not fasten off after completing the last row. Stretch the loop. That concludes the explanation of the body section. Next, I'll explain how to join yarn. If a skein is almost finished while crocheting, leave a yarn tail and work an unclosed stitch. Since we're working double crochets, use an unclosed double crochet. Try to avoid joining yarn at chain positions. I'll demonstrate using an unclosed double crochet. Then take the new yarn. Tie a knot. and pull it through. That's how you join the yarn. After working a few stitches, continue with double crochets or chains. Next, locate the wrong side of the piece. Follow the texture on the wrong side to weave in the ends. You can weave in the tail for a few extra stitches. It will be more secure. Trim any excess yarn tails. For future situations where you need to weave in ends, you can refer to this demonstration. Next, we'll continue crocheting the chest. Take a look at the finished product. The chest starts with decreasing stitches. Then crochet evenly without increasing or decreasing. Here, you'll need to use new stitches. DC2 tog, DCTR tog, DC2TR tog. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific stitches. Start with the first row. Here, I'll demonstrate using a small sample. Begin by carrying the yarn across. Pass the skein or piece through the loop on your hook. Tighten. This will turn the loop into a single strand. Make sure the right side is facing up. Refer to the chart to locate the joining position. Note that the demonstration uses a large size for the sample. For other sizes, learn the method first. Then follow the chart to crochet. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the carried yarn so it lies close to the piece. This completes the carrying of the yarn. Continue with 3 chains. This doesn't count as one stitch. Move on to work 1 DC2 tog. Yarn over and insert into the left chain space, then draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. This completes 1 unclosed double crochet. Next, work 1 unclosed double crochet on the double crochet on the left. Yarn over. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. This completes 1 DC2 tog. Continue crocheting this row while referring to the chart. Pay attention to the number of starting double crochets, don't make a mistake. When you reach the end of row 1 with the DC2TR tog, insert into the double crochet on the right side of group 1. Work 1 unclosed double crochet. Then insert into the left chain space, and work another unclosed double crochet. Finally, work one unclosed treble crochet on the left stitch. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook into the left double crochet and draw through. At this point, there should be 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again, and draw through the next 2 loops. This completes one unclosed treble crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. The DC2T tog is now complete. Row 1 for the large size is finished. For any upcoming DC2 tog and DC2T tog, refer to this demonstration. Everyone, continue referring to the chart, and crochet until the end of row 2. Here, the sample is already completed. At the ending, you need to work a DCT tog. First, work an unclosed double crochet into the first double crochet from the previous row. Then pick up the stitch from the DC2 tog in the previous row. Work an unclosed treble crochet. Pay attention to picking up the stitch from the DC2 tog. Leave the turning chain position unworked. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. This completes the DCT tog. For any upcoming DCT tog, refer to this demonstration. Everyone, refer to the chart and continue crocheting to row 5 for the large size. The sample has already completed row 5. Now, let's start with row 6. Start by working 3 chains. Then work a DC2 tog. After that, make a chain for transition. Work another double crochet in the same stitch. For the remaining part, just crochet group 1. That completes row 6. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish crocheting to row 8. Next, move on to row 9. Start by working 2 chains. Then crochet the leaf. At the end, insert into the chain space of group 1 from the previous row, and work 2 double crochets. Work another DC2 tog. Pay attention, the second unclosed double crochet needs to work into the beginning chain. That completes row 9. Everyone, continue referring to the chart to finish the rows with decreases on both sides. Next comes the remaining rows for the chest. This part involves crocheting group 1, and leaves evenly, following the sequence. The technique is the same as for the body section. Just start with 3 chains. Work 1 double crochet into the adjacent stitch. Then continue with group 1 or the leaf. At the end, work 2 double crochets into the turning chain, and 1 double crochet. Mind that, don't miss the turning chain. Everyone, refer to the chart to finish this part. This completes the chest. Next, we'll move on to the right and left shoulder parts. Note, after completing the chest for small or large sizes, start with the right shoulder part. Then join the yarn and crochet the left shoulder part. For medium sizes, start with the left shoulder part. Then join the yarn and work the right shoulder part. The shoulder section includes the decrease portion and the sloping shoulder. The stitches for the decrease portion have all been explained earlier. Now let me explain the sloping shoulder part. Here we encounter a new stitch. Slip stitch and half double crochet. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Here the sample is based on the large size. Start by crocheting the right shoulder part. Everyone, refer to the chart and work until there are 3 rows left for the sloping shoulder section. After completing the last group 1 in row 6, then pick up the stitch on the right side of the leaf below, and work 1 half double crochet. Continue with 1 half double crochet in the stitch on the left side. Then work 1 single crochet corresponding to the stitch below. Work 1 single crochet in the stitch on the left side. Then work 1 slip stitch in the turning chain below. There's no need to tighten this slip stitch. Then enlarge the loop. Pull the skein out. Tighten it. Then turn the work over. Locate the insertion position for row 7. That is, on the double crochet to the right of the second group 1 on the left side. Bring the carried yarn through. Note that this distance is quite long. The carried yarn shouldn't be pulled too tight, it needs to be level with the piece. Work 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet in the chain space on the left side. Continue crocheting while referring to the chart. This completes the right shoulder part. Next, crochet the left shoulder part. Find the corresponding position. Hook the yarn out. Make 3 chains. Continue with DC2 tog. You can weave the yarn tail as you crochet. Keep crocheting and refer to the chart until it's completed. Pay attention, after finishing the 7th row of the left shoulder part, you need to carry the yarn across. This completes both the right and left shoulder parts. The back piece has now been explained completely. Next, let's learn the front piece. Take a look at the finished product. The front piece also starts with a foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. It is divided into the body, the chest piece, and the left and right shoulder parts. The body is further divided into the hem and the body section. Crochet the front piece up to the row number that corresponds to the chest piece. Then, start dividing into the left and right shoulder parts. For small and large sizes, crochet the right shoulder part first. Then join yarn and crochet the left shoulder part. For medium size, crochet the left shoulder part first. Then crochet the right shoulder part. Note that for several rows in the shoulder part decrease section, you need to skip stitches at the end of the rows. When you encounter a place where you need to carry the yarn, simply carry it to the corresponding position on the next row and continue crocheting. All the stitches used have been demonstrated before. Everyone, refer to the chart and complete it on your own. That concludes the explanation of the front piece. Next, let's learn how to crochet the sleeve. It is divided into the sleeve body and the sleeve cap. You need to crochet 2 identical sleeve pieces. Use the foundation chain to start. Crochet back and forth. Start with the sleeve body first. For the first row of the sleeve body, refer to the chart to crochet DC3 and 1 into the back bumps of foundation chain. At the end, crochet 1 double crochet. We will consider the right side of the first row of leaves as the right side of the entire sleeve piece. Next, move on to the second row. After completing the turning chain, turn your work. Crochet group 1. Similarly, at the end, you need to crochet 1 double crochet. This completes the sleeve body. Now proceed to crochet the sleeve cap on both sides. The edges require decrease stitches. While crocheting, you need to carry the yarn across. The method for decreasing stitches can refer to the demonstration of the chest. Everyone can crochet by referring to the chart. This concludes the explanation of the sleeve section. Next, we will proceed with joining together. Let's take a look at the finished product. You need to join the sloping shoulder part first, then connect the front piece and the back piece. Finally, attach the sleeve piece. Use one chain and one slip stitch alternately for joining. There are no specific requirements for the insertion point of the slip stitch. The quantity of chains can also be adjusted according to your preference. Just ensure that the piece connects flatly and that the right side texture looks nice. You can also join based on your own habits. Pay attention when joining. If you encounter carrying yarn, you need to crochet the carried yarn in as well. The specific joining method can be referenced from the video demonstration below. Below, I will demonstrate with a sample. The method for joining stitch positions is to match up the areas that need to be joined. Ensure the right sides of both pieces face outward. On the front side, join the yarn at the first stitch on the right edge. If it's a regular stitch, simply insert your hook into the stitch. If it's a turning chain, pick up the 2 strands above the turning chain. Then crochet a chain as a transition. The number of chains here can also be adjusted according to your preference. The more chains, the wider the joining area will be. In this sample, crochet 1 chain. Then slip stitch into the first stitch, on the edge of the back piece. Don't pull too tight. You can also adjust the joining stitch, based on your own preference. For example, you could use single crochets instead. The sample here only uses slip stitches. Continue with chains. Go back to the front piece and pick a suitable position. That is, after finishing the chains. Estimate where you can roughly reach. The more chains, the slightly wider the joining interval can be. In this sample, join with an interval of 1 stitch. If the joining positions are not in the same row, you can choose an approximately suitable position. Just make sure that after joining, the pieces join evenly and lay flat. Continue with chains. Attach at the corresponding position on the other side. Following this method, select appropriate positions to join the front and back pieces. Pay attention to also join the edges of the pieces correspondingly. After completing the joining of the last 2 edge stitches, break the yarn and weave in the ends. weaving the starting yarn tail on the wrong side as well. Everyone, go ahead and complete it. That concludes the explanation of joining stitch positions. After the shoulder parts are joined, join the front piece to the back piece. Make sure to keep the piece flat while joining. Now, let's show. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample. The method for joining between rows. Place the right side of the piece facing out. The joining positions need to correspond. You can join from the side of the turning chain, or you can join from the end side. First, on the rightmost row of the front piece, join the yarn at the edge position. If this is the starting point, you can join by picking up the insertion position. If it's the ending point, pick above the turning chain or the stitch to join. Then, crochet a chain as a transition. The number of chains here can also be adjusted according to your preference. The more chains, the wider the joining position will be. For the sample, crochet 1 chain, slip stitch at the corresponding position on the edge of the back piece. Don't pull it too tight. You can also adjust the connecting stitch according to your own preference. For example, you could use single crochets instead. The sample here uses slip stitches throughout. Continue crocheting chains. Go back to the front piece. Pick a suitable position. That is, after finishing the chains, it should roughly reach the position. If there are more chains, then the joining interval can be slightly increased. For the sample, pick up 1 stitch from this row's edge for joining. Continue crocheting chains. Slip stitch at the corresponding position on the back piece. Continue joining using this method. Pay attention to adjust the joining position according to the actual situation. Ensure that the pieces are evenly and smoothly joined. Don't forget to join the final edge position. Make sure the side edges of the pieces correspond. Finally, fasten off the yarn and weave in ends. Everyone should now complete it. That concludes the explanation of row-to-row joining. Next, join the sleeve pieces to the corresponding positions of the front and back pieces. The first row of the sleeve should have the right side facing out. Fold the sleeve piece in half. Align the sleeve with the underarm position. Match the last row of the sleeve cap to the shoulder joining position. Secure a few more points in the middle. Then join with slip stitches and chains. Complete the sides of the sleeve cap, decreases according to the front and back pieces joining. For the last row of the sleeve cap, pick up stitches to join with the shoulder parts of the front and back pieces. After crocheting the chains, you can skip 1-2 double crochets on the last row of the sleeve cap if needed. Then join with a slip stitch and chain. Keep the piece flat. Pay attention after completing the joining. Continue to join the beginning and ending rows of the sleeve body. The method is similar to before. Everyone should complete the joining. That concludes the explanation of the joining process. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the neckline. The neckline is worked back and forth along the neckline edge formed by the front and back pieces. Here we encounter a new stitch, SC2 tog, SC2 in 1 and DC2 in 1. The neckline requires color changes and decreases. The specific decrease pattern needs to be crocheted by referring to the chart. Please watch as I demonstrate below. Start with the first row first. Here, I'll demonstrate using a small sample for a small size. For other sizes, you can learn the method. Refer to the chart to crochet. Take out the corresponding color yarn. Insert into the turning chain on the edge of the shoulder part of the front piece. For medium and large sizes, insert into the single crochet on the left shoulder part of the front piece. Then make 1 turning chain. Work single crochets next. The chart will indicate the insertion point here. You can refer to the chart for inserting and crocheting. Adjust according to the actual situation as well. Ensure that the edge of the piece is flat and neat after completion. The total number of stitches should correspond to the chart. Continue crocheting all the way to the outermost stitch on the left neckline of the front piece. When encountering carried yarn, you can crochet the carrying yarn together. Make sure that the piece is flat after completion. Check the stitch count carefully. The first row is now complete. Next, work on the second row. Make 1 turning chain. Turn your work. Work single crochets corresponding to each stitch. Finish with a slip stitch to secure. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the second row. For the remaining rows of the neckline, attach the main yarn and follow the chart to crochet. Note that in row 8, you will use a DC2 in 1 at the end. That means crocheting 2 double crochets in the same position. And that completes the DC2 in 1. Everyone, continue referring to the chart and finish row 10. Next, move on to row 11. Start by working single crochets evenly into each stitch. Here, you've reached the spot where you need to decrease stitches. Begin with the SC2 tog. Insert the hook into the front loop of the left single crochet. That's the strand closest to you. Then insert it into the front loop of the next single crochet. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops on the hook. That completes one SC2 tog. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish this row. Row 11 is now complete. Move on to row 12. At both the beginning and end of this row, you need to work a SC2 in 1. That means crocheting 2 single crochets into the same stitch. This completes one SC2 in 1. Everyone, continue referring to the chart and finish this row. After finishing, break the yarn. Row 12 is now complete. That concludes the explanation of the neckline. Next, you can start crocheting the edging. The edging includes the neckline edging and the cuffs edging. First, work on the neckline edging. Crochet around the completed neckline. Then, crochet in rounds counterclockwise around the remaining left and right shoulder parts of the front piece. A new stitch will be used, SC3 in 1. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Take the corresponding color yarn. Insert the hook at the edge of the first single crochet in row 1 of the neckline. Start crocheting single crochets. The exact number of stitches and the insertion points can be completed by referring to the chart. At both edges of the neckline, you need to work SC3 in 1. This means crocheting 3 single crochets into the same stitch. Then finish with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Tighten. That completes the first round of the neckline edging. Move on to round 2. Start with 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet evenly into each stitch. In this round, you need to decrease stitches. Refer to the chart to complete it on your own. After completing the last single crochet, do not slip stitch. Simply pull the yarn through directly. Break the yarn. Hook the yarn through the first single crochet. Then hook it again through the last single crochet. This method of finishing will make the collar look better. Finally, tie a knot with the yarn tail on the back side. Then weave the yarn tail along the texture. That completes the edging of the collar. Next, work on the edging for the cuffs. The edging for both cuffs is identical. Please take a look at the finished product. Crochet single crochets around the foundation chain of the cuff in a counterclockwise direction. Take the corresponding color yarn. Insert the hook into the last double crochet of the first row of the sleeve. Make one beginning chain and start working single crochets. Work one single crochet into the left chain space. Then work 2 single crochets into the next chain space. Continue working single crochets into these chain spaces as described. There's no need to crochet where the sleeve is joined. You can also work the single crochets according to your preference. After completing the first round, finish with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Make sure to tighten this slip stitch. This prevents adding extra stitches in the next round. Then make one beginning chain, and start working single crochets again. Work single crochets evenly. Refer to the chart to complete these 2 rounds. Finally, fasten off the yarn. That's how you complete the edging for the cuffs. Next, sew on the decorations. The decorations include embroidery and buttons. Let's take a look at the finished product. The embroidery is located on the left shoulder part of the front piece, and above the hem of the front piece. The embroidery is divided into the left side and the right side. You can also adjust the position according to your preference. Below, please watch me demonstrate the specific sewing method. Cut a segment of the main color yarn about 30 centimeters long. Pull out one strand from it. Insert it into the sewing needle. Take out the embroidery. Place it on the corresponding position of the front piece. Then sew along the edge of the embroidery. You also need to sew a few stitches in the middle of the embroidery to secure it. Finally, tie the yarn tail and secure it. Weave the tail end inside the piece. That concludes the explanation of embroidery. The buttons include the male button and the female button. The one with the ring is the female button. Sew it onto the edge of the neckline on the right side, from row 9 to row 12. Sew the male button onto the edge of the neckline on the left side, from row 9 to row 12. Cut another segment of the main color yarn, about 20 centimeters long. Thread it into the sewing needle. Follow the holes of the button. Sew and secure it in place. Tie off at the end. Weave the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. Break the yarn. This completes the decoration. Up to this point, this completes the explanation of this top. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family. Supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.